Yeah, I hope you are watching wherever you are in the world. This is live streaming to YouTube. My name is Sean. I'm joined by Ash and Brittany. They are in different parts of the United States of America. They'll share that if they want to, of course. They're past guests of mine on the Suicide Noted podcast, now more than 5 years old and almost 300 conversations in. And we started this live stream a few months back where I've been inviting my past guests to join me and talk about a question or an idea or a topic. And there should be a live chat. So if you are watching this and you want to ask a question or say something, I will gladly read it aloud if you'd like me to. And that will further give us things to talk about. Today, we have a very interesting question posed by somebody who's been on these lives before. She's not here today. And the question, I want to make sure I get this right. By the way, both of you, a couple things before I say this question. Remind me to talk about the tour, please. It's important. It's coming up. Also, we should talk about glasses. Before I ask the question, I'm wearing, I got a gift of reading glasses, different colors. I'm choosing this one today. Brittany, I see that you're going with a more of a greenish look. And Ash, I think Ash has a couple things that she's been wearing of late. One is more standard style glasses, and now I see you have sunglasses as well, shades, you call it. But I think your go-to is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're complementing or offsetting our glasses with headphones. I like it. So the question is, this is a good question. It's the kind of question where if you don't get it, you won't get it. Like it would be the kind of thing where when you heard it, you'd be like, why would you ask that question? Well, because it's a good question. Something worth discussing, I think. And it is, what holds you back from attempting? And for those of you, and it may apply to you, it may not. If you're planning, why not today? Now, you know, there are people who are probably not ever going to watch this would say, how could you possibly ask that question? You're going to give them ideas. Ash, Brittany, does that give you ideas that you don't already have in your heads or your minds or your hearts? Honestly, be straight up with me.
No.
No.
Me? No. I do think that it's a slippery slope.
Indeed.
I
But
try to be responsible with what I say on here because I don't want to inspire anybody to, or do the opposite of inspiration. Excuse me,
right.
to despire anyone already depressed would be.
Fair. Yeah. To each his or her or their own. That's fine. That's cool. Um, yeah.
I think it's good that we say up front, maybe even that it bears repeating that we are not encouraging
Nope.
this. We're not encouraging it. We're just talking about it. And it's okay for other people to talk about it too.
Can't talk about it unless you talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's smart and wise and fair, and to do so with, hey, this is what it's about. This is not, we're not encouraging. But you're right. It's a slippery slope. A little bit, maybe more than a little bit, but you got to have these conversations. And I think that this could be a whole other topic, and in that, like, what is a safe space, and does that really exist? Because life is risky and conversations are risky, and there's gonna be a risk, and you got to do it as smart or carefully as you can. But I obviously feel like these conversations need to happen.
Right, like who's deciding whose
Right.
measuring stick do we use to
Yeah.
determine what safe even means? Because
Right.
like there's no place safer than a police station, but also that's not so safe for everyone.
Right. Or you could say, like, if you want to ensure that nothing bad's ever going to happen to you, never leave your home. And you'll at
Right.
least increase the odds, but you have to offset that with living. Right.
Yeah.
So that's just the constant, like, how do we balance it out? And for this is like, we need to talk about this stuff, but we are also aware of some other things. So, and remember, if you're watching this, whether it's live or elsewhere, and this is important, you can just simply walk away. You can
Yes,
hit
that
stop or pause or walk away and never watch anything related to this again. You have that power. So I think given that, I feel more comfortable saying, yeah, we can talk about it because you have power to stop it by just putting your phone down.
I'm certain you would encourage anybody who's feeling oogie to
Yeah.
tune out,
Yeah.
because human life is more important to you, I think, than any watch time metric.
I don't give a shit about watch time. Yeah. I do care about money. Send me money. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding.
Money.
I'm not kidding.
I've got this GoFundMe now. Never.
I have a page set up. It's doing it again. No, your Brittany, your
Oh,
connection zoomed out for a second, but
yeah.
yeah, no. I mean, I'm going on tour and I do have a page set up, givebutter.com/suicide noted, because it's tax deductible donations, which for people who have a lot of money, that could make a difference. I'm not going to apologize for asking for money anymore. I need funding. Brittany, you have an issue with Ash. You're good. Brittany, you have a weird thing going on with your video, just so you know. It's
What's happening
pixelated
with it?
and freezing a little bit. I don't know. You're good for
I
now.
don't know. Should
So
I
let's
disconnect and reconnect, you
up
think?
to you, but I'm about to ask that question again because I just digressed for a good 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, you just let me know if I go weird again, and I'll work
Well,
on
you're
it.
weird. You're not weird again. You're weird. But we're all weird.
I
What
think
stops you, Brittany or Ash? What stops you or prevents you from attempting? I'm assuming that's answerable, but you'll answer it however you want to. Um, if neither of you want to go now, I'll just keep talking. It's cool. I've got cool glasses on, so I'm really feeling confident. Brittany's back. So Brittany, I asked the question again. What?
I heard. I can still hear you when I
Good.
talk. It's just my end that goes weird.
Everybody wants to be heard.
Well, I love to talk. So if Ash wants to go ahead,
What holds you back? I'm asking the question exactly how it was framed. What holds you back from attempting? That is the question.
For me, it's promises made to others.
that's a good one.
So what do you mean?
Um, like I made a promise to my best friend that if I feel like hurting myself,
Mm-hmm.
that I would get a hold of her first.
Yes.
And that. Okay. And when I say just that, the just part isn't me like saying only that, like not at all, but like because some people would be like, that's a little thing, but it might be enough.
Don't be a butthole about it, Sean.
So the butthole podcast would be viral.
It would.
Name.
People will tune
So
in for
you
that.
you made a promise to a friend that if you were feeling that way, you would reach out.
Yes.
Let me ask another question around that. So if the question is what holds you back from attempting and you wanted to attempt, we could play with that a little bit and just say, all right, let's just say you reach out. So you fulfilled your promise. Like, is there something else that holds you back? Because you seem like a person who would fulfill their promise because you just said that and it matters to you.
Yeah.
Like there's something else. And I'm not trying to poke. I'm just wondering.
Yes, you are. It's okay though. That's what we
A
do.
little bit, but not to the point where like I don't want people to say things they're not comfortable saying or
Yeah.
no.
I don't think there is anything else other than that.
Mm-hmm.
And had I fulfilled my promise and how do I say this?
Mm-hmm.
If I fulfill my promise and in doing so I don't feel any better,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think I would go through with it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like though that your best friend that had you make this promise to them, or I don't know the circumstances of that. If they asked you, promise me this, or if you proposed, like I'm promising you, I don't, and you don't have to tell us, but it sounds like your friend themselves is a really good thing keeping you around, or a good thing to stick around for. That sounds like a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
She is, definitely.
Protective factors, human beings, friends.
Mm-hmm.
So then it makes you wonder. I don't know why my brain goes there. Some people don't have friends. I just
I
thought,
thought I didn't have friends, and I have discovered lately that more people were my friend all along than I
all
ever was
right.
aware of.
So that's, yeah. If for people that don't have friends, all of a sudden that barrier, if you will, use that terminology, is gone. Okay. We do. At least one. So, okay. And it should be said that as a reminder for anyone watching this, the great majority of my guests for the podcast, including Ash and Brittany, are suicide attempt survivors. The only exception is that here and there I have somebody who's like, call them like an ideator, and they're planning, and or maybe they come real close, and okay. But it is about suicide, and I talk to people who are very familiar with that space personally. Experientially, is that the word?
I don't know if that is a word.
Well, language is funny and malleable, and if you knew what I meant, then it's fine.
Yeah.
We could do this in another language, but I don't speak another language well enough. Brittany,
Yes.
what about you? What holds you back from attempting?
These kids, man. It's the kids, but I've got this great button. Where you're talking about glasses, I've got this great button. I gotta find it to wear for the next live. It's this black button, and it looks like a kid drew it, but it's little stick kids, and it says "for the kids" on it. And I
Oh,
don't know what organization or individual made it. I don't know where it came from. I got it at like an antique store
love
or
it.
flea market or something.
Right.
But I usually I keep it on a backpack or an instrument case, and I'll start wearing it when I go live now.
No, just
Because
to be clear, you're doing it for the kids
for the
who are
kid,
wandering around a flea market. Who are you doing it for?
no, my kids. I have two
Oh,
kids.
so
Um,
you're that's what holds you back from attempting.
yes, my two kids hold me back from attempting. Yes, and
Mothering. Hmm.
other stuff, sure, but nothing that's fail safe like my love for my two kids and my will to stick around to protect them and
Hmm.
to let them know my love for them and
Hmm.
hopefully to feel their love for me
Hmm.
and to see what they grow up and do because they're
Hmm.
already so awesome and I feel like they're just gonna get better. I got the best kids.
That's cool. And then there was a second part to the question, or in parentheses, if you're planning, why not today? And which is very similar, but I guess it's just kind of asking how close you are in your planning. So this is where it gets interesting in these, because I feel like, and this applies more to like a live conversation on YouTube, I think more than the podcast, in that like, who's willing to say they're planning? I'm not asking like who here is willing to say that. I'm just saying in general, like, like, damn, that's a tough one. And then what do we even mean by planning?
That's what I am wondering because, like, now that I think about it, I guess I've always got a plan.
You
If
do.
I'm being
Mm-hmm.
real, I've always got a plan.
And
And I've
Ashley.
always got a plan B, but it's never anymore something that I'm.
Well, how specific is the plan? Because it could be. I'll tell you why I asked that, because I think people who are like in the category of passively ideating, right? And if you ask them if they had a plan, they might say it's always in my back pocket. I know there's a bridge over there in the other county. If I ever wanted to, that's a pretty fail safe way. Um, I don't think I'm going to make it to my next birthday, but I am. I've been here before, so I'm not sure. And that's a plan for them. Some people might say that's a loose plan, and others say, well, what a plan actually means, if we're going by other people's definitions, it's like a more specific date, more specific, well, in this case, method was established. But so, in as much as you're comfortable sharing, either of you, and Ash didn't say, may not be in that position, of course. How specific is this plan? I'm wondering. Means, date,
Yes.
intention.
Me?
Either way, either one.
Uh,
We're good. We're just talking.
Ash, are you planning, or would you say that you have been planning?
There's always a plan.
Mm.
There's always a plan. But as for it being specific, like I could tell you what I would do, how I
You
would do it,
you could,
that kind
but
of
you
stuff.
you could, but you won't.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you tell me when
But
we talked for the podcast? I'm just wondering. Do you remember?
no, I don't think I told you that. I think I told you my past attempt, what it was.
Right. And we had an update episode too, I remember, but it didn't come up,
Yeah.
or maybe I didn't ask. So you could, because meaning it is defined,
Yes.
but not date.
No.
So method.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess, Brittany, I'd say that is probably like you're similar to you.
What's that about method?
Like, so when you say there's always a plan, and then you mention something about a plan B, you don't have a date, but you
That's
would
kind
know
of, yeah.
how
I
you
don't.
would do it. You have an idea.
Not only do I have a date, but I don't. I can't say I don't have a plan because again, there's always a plan. But it's now in this era, it's like a plan of what I could do.
Yeah.
I've got a weird brain though. I'm always a little bit hyper aware of choices I could make,
Yeah.
but maybe we all are.
Yeah. Huh. Do you, again, any of these questions might be weird or something you don't want to talk about. Of course, that's fine. Like, how many people know what you just shared? Either of you, including professionals.
Two.
Two, Ash? And one of them, I imagine, is
Mhm.
a professional, at least one?
Yes.
One. How do they respond to that? Are they cool with it?
She's cool with it as long as I'm not acting on it at that point in time.
Right. Or being active about it. Or
Yes.
acting on it, in my mind, immediately means like you're going to end your life in front of her.
Like she knows that yes, I have a plan. She knows what the plan is. But there's also kind of a promise to her as well that
Hmm.
if I get to the point that I want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
then I will reach out to my best friend or her.
Yeah. All right. Let me. I have another question around this though, and it's just for you, Ash, or Brittany, if it applies. And I'm not assuming that this applies to everybody, but like, would you know that you're in that space, or when you get in that space? And I guess you can only go by history. Is the brain functioning in the same way so that you would reach out to these people?
In the past, I would say no.
Yeah.
Now I'm more aware.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll come out and say it. I've been having active thoughts the last week just
Mm-hmm.
because of some things that we've been going through in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm more aware of what I'm feeling now.
Yeah. Hmm. It's like a blessing and a curse in a way. What about you, Brittany? Are you? What do you like?
I
Yeah.
I want to say no one, but also maybe everyone. I don't. My perception, my read of people is real strange. I
You're
think.
answering the question about who knows about what you
Yeah,
shared a few minutes ago. Okay.
yeah.
What does
I
that
don't have
mean?
one.
Nobody, but I know nobody means you probably didn't spell it out for anyone specifically. But what do you mean everybody?
I have kind of spelled it out for people
Oh,
though, but I mean, not in terms of like sitting down and, hey, I need to tell you something. I've got
mm-hmm,
this
mm-hmm,
plan that I could,
mm-hmm,
no, well, kind of. I kind of did that. Kind of talked to a friend last night, like, yeah, I don't know. It's no secret that I'm like a moody, depressed person,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
or that I have attempted, for that matter. But I do my very best not to talk about it at all
Mm.
in IRL because it's not a safe space. Like this is a safe space.
I mean, to
My
some
safe space
degree,
is
but it's as we've established, we can
yes,
question the word safe. But you mean
yeah,
more
my
safe
safe
for us,
space to
but not
speak
for
freely.
we. And there's two parts to the safe space thing. It's like, okay, hopefully you two feel safe, but then the other side of it is those listening, and that's where it gets hard because it's like, are you going to silence people because someone might get triggered? I'm not saying there's a right way to handle it or approach it, but anyway, I digress. Hmm. And the same for you, Brittany. I was asking Ash about like what is your brain functioning the same way? I don't know if you can answer this question, but like I want to pose it. When you're feeling that way, do the things that hold you back, do you feel differently about it when you're in it?
It just depends. I have had, I don't want to get too specific,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I have also had a rough week
Mm-hmm.
and a rough month and a rough life. But this week has been a little rocky, and I found myself in a space where rather than, I mean, my short answer would just be no. My brain isn't functioning the same way that it normally does when I'm
Mm-hmm.
ideating. But I got to this space where all I could do is reach out to people. I'm like, I'm lonely. I'm
Uh-huh.
sad, and I don't even want to talk about how lonely and sad I am, but like
Yeah.
I take off going for a walk and I see a neighbor sitting outside. Idly ho, neighbor, let's talk about your woodworking you're doing on the porch. Hey there, what you doing to your car? To your Jeep there, man? That's, oh, you're a mechanic. That's, you don't find a lot of lady mechanics. Just to have a conversation, just
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
distract. But that's me.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's me
Wow.
lately.
Yeah, I think about that question differently in some well, maybe not differently, but
Yeah, tell us yours.
well, I feel like I'm when I think of method, and then remember, I've never attempted. That matters. I think that you need context.
Yeah.
But I was reading. I didn't journal a lot in my life, but I've been looking through some old stuff, and I saw a notebook from like 20 years ago, and I was like, I've written suicide letters, notes, excuse me. I just
Huh.
needed to put it down, and I was just like, I knew I wasn't gonna do it, and I knew I wasn't gonna share it with anybody, but I was just like, here's why, or here's what you need to know, or whatever one puts in those things, right? And I did that. I've probably done that a handful of times in my life, and I don't actually know exactly why, but I have a weird view. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to have a weird death that will be deemed not a suicide, but if you really know me, it could be considered a lifestyle choice that is likely to lead to death. And for me, I don't know. I think this is actually just weird. I mean, it's like, you know how like when you're talking and I'm usually on the other side of this. I'm asking the questions or whatever. I just had this moment of like, do I share this? But then I'm like, oh, that's what my guests feel like all the time. But I'm like, I've been I've used, a fair amount of drugs. And there was a period in my life where I was using a lot of cocaine. We're going back like 20 years ago at least. And the one drug I would never do was heroin because I was like, I know how that shit ends.
Yeah.
Right. But I also know, and again, I, whatever, like if you're watching this, you know that we're talking about things. It's like, you got to just be okay with it or just stop watching. That will be my end. And I also know I am vulnerable to that if it appears in front of me. Let's leave it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't seek it, but I think sometimes when you're open to things, they magically just find their way to you.
Yes.
The people, the places, the things, right?
Yes.
And I can see that rather easily happening. I could see almost for sure me not saying no. I know what happens to the mind and the body, that in the body with that drug, unlike other drugs. And I can just see how it plays out. Do I want that as I speak right now? No. But the reality is I know how desperate I am to feel better. And I know that's one reason why I did drugs. Probably the main reason I did drugs. Probably the main reason a lot of people do drugs, whether they're legal or not. Um, so that's how I think about it. Like, there's no gun. I'm not jumping off a bridge. I'm not hanging myself. Like, that's the route. So no, there's no date. Is that a suicide? Depends on your definition. It would almost definitely not be deemed suicide by the coroner, right?
Right.
Like almost definitely not. And so
I
I guess
mean, accidental OD, that's its own thing.
yeah, that I don't know for sure, but that's its own thing. That's what it would be. The
Yeah,
cause
I
of
don't
death
think
wouldn't
that
be
I think
suicide;
that
it
you're
would be
right.
overdose. Ash, do you know a little bit about that? Because I know you work in that field a little bit.
Yeah, it's a thin line,
Yeah.
and I think most overdoses are deemed as that, as an overdose,
Mm-hmm.
An accident.
because
And some of
they
them are that.
can't, and because they can't tell was it intentional or was it an accident.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Unless there's a note or something. But if you're doing it the way I imagine me doing it, it's not necessarily like, all right, I'm doing this thing with the hopes of dying tonight. I'm doing this thing to feel good tonight.
I
But
could
eventually
imagine.
it will kill me. Or it could play out more where you get addicted. And this is a very common thing, sad, I would say, but common where, all right, I'm not dead, but I'm broke. And now I'm homeless.
Yeah.
And then that's a risky lifestyle, right? And then you do other things and then you die that way. And so is it a suicide? And I don't want that to happen as I speak here today. And I don't necessarily think it'll happen, but it is. And I can also imagine some people hearing this being like, this isn't really part of the conversation. This isn't about, we're talking about suicide. I'm like, all right, well, I went there. It is a little different.
No, I'm glad you're sharing that with us.
But there's
I
no
can
plan.
fully envision you like you're out, right? And somebody's like, "Hey, you want some of this
Absolutely.
dog food or whatever they call it?" And you're like, "No, hang on, I need to write something first." And you like pull out a little ledger and you're like, "Just in case." I'm about to do this
Yeah,
thing and I'm
yeah,
not trying to, but if I do, I love you or whatever you would write.
yeah. And everything
It's-
I've ever done, I've quit.
Well, good. That's
But I don't think I'd be, and also like I had this weird idea, and this is probably pretty common with people, particularly as they get older. Like, I just don't like the way my brain is, the way my life is worked out or is working out. Like, I just don't see me lasting that long. And some of it's
right.
practical. Like, I don't have a partner. I don't have anybody that needs me. Like, I mean, really needs me, dependent on me. I don't have a lot of money. My health is okay, but not great. Obviously, I'm not getting younger. Um, I don't want to get political, but it's challenging to get the health care that I need. And it's not even that much. Things get more expensive, even in real dollars. It's not just like, so I know this is going to end. I don't know where or how or when exactly, but the likelihood of me dying a quote unquote natural death I think is pretty low, you know? So, and I think there's a lot of people in that situation, a lot. So I'm one of them, you know? You can't last in this world very long alone. I mean, practically, and you could go beyond it emotionally, psychologically, but you just can't. You just can't do it.
That's very true.
So there's a little irony in that the person started to get weird about it who started the podcast but that's good. It's not good. But if I weren't in that situation, do I start a podcast? I don't know. Right? Like, it wasn't like, oh, let me start a podcast and I've got 50 different topics it could be about, so I'll just choose suicide. No. Right? It was like, I really want to have these conversations with people that needs, whatever. I don't need to get into all the reasons why, but a lot of people just wouldn't start something like that. I don't think they would be like, what the fuck are you doing? It's weird. I have no, you know that. It's not like we talk about this like we talk about almost anything else. And when we do, I think we should do it with colored glasses, Ash. I just think it would be better. How fun would that be? Everybody talking about suicide with different colored glasses on.
I need to get new glasses.
Get them. I encourage you to get new glasses.
I was thinking I would go with normal looking ones next time, but now I can't.
You can buy two.
No,
nice,
I'm not
Ash. Nice. All right.
Mine are boring.
Nah. So what else do we want to share about this? And we can
the tour.
Tangent a little bit. What?
The tour. Let's talk about the tour.
The tour is me getting in my car in a shockingly very soon. It's freaking me the fuck out. Going to cities, and my guests or past guests are helping me do this. Some of them who wanted to, in terms of finding a venue and some promotion. And the format mostly is just going to be kind of like this. We're just talking about suicide and your own experience with suicide. And there might be one person I'm talking with. There might be more. And there's going to be an audience. It might be small. It might not. We can hope. We want more people there. And right now we're at we have 4 cities for sure, but it looks like we'll have at least 15, maybe more.
I'm working on
5 weeks or so. Brittany's one of the people helping out in Kentucky. So it's North Carolina, Virginia, New York, Massachusetts, Michigan, Kentucky, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Colorado, Oregon, California, Arizona. And there's a few maybes in there. And I imagine 1 or 2 might not work out, and that is if my car makes it and if Sean makes it. And I would be less than honest if I didn't say, given what I just shared about heroin, that I do imagine me in my mind just being like at a shitty little hotel, feeling tired or lonely or weird or bad or this or that. And the wrong person offers me something. Like, this is played out in my head.
You're not, well, when you come to Kentucky anyway, when you come local here, you won't have to worry about any shitty little hotels. I have an inn with a really great hotel. I'm not going to say the name of it or what my inn is with it, but you know about it.
But I'm just saying, I'll tell you. I mean, this is weird, man. I'm hesitant to say it, because I will. I don't think you guys know this. I don't know how you would, but it wasn't that long ago. Um, it wasn't that long ago that I was having a shitty night, and I wasn't here for what it's worth. It doesn't really matter. The opportunity presented itself in a way that probably wouldn't here where I live. Let's say that. You can see that I'm like not sure what I want to share. And I just decided I want to get high, man. I'm fucking this, I'm fucking that, blah blah blah. And I went out and I took some really, really stupid risks. The fact and I did get high on a drug I had never done before. You can use your imagination. Um, it's white and you smoke it.
Ooh.
And I loved it
Oh no, that's horrible.
because I love drugs.
It makes sense. Yeah, a lot of people are real keen
I
on
mean,
it.
it's so simple. I just felt better. It really is just so simple.
Yeah.
Why did you do it? I wanted to feel better. Did you? Yeah. I mean, and yeah, of course, there's a yes and no because it wears off. And then are you going to keep doing it or not? Right. This is an up drug, not a down drug.
Yeah.
At this point, you should have narrowed it down to two things. We'll leave it at that. There's only like a couple things that look, and either way, so the point of that is not to confess to me doing illicit drugs. It is to say it was like that. Just like I
All
don't know
better.
what switched in my brain. I'm like, I just fucking want this thing. And then we're talking about how the brain changes, right? And I was asking you with respect to suicide, but this is another way. The brain changed. And all of a sudden my filter was different. And all of a sudden my brain's ability to see danger changed, or at least offset with cost benefit. And it was just like I look back and I'm like, and there's stuff I'm leaving out, unnecessary to share, but like really dumb. It
Yeah.
worked out that time, right? It worked out that time. And I saw what I did, and I saw how I behaved in the ensuing hours and even days, and it scared the shit out of me.
It's crazy that you did share this with us today because I have such relevant input right here for the drug stuff, the
Yeah,
brain changing stuff.
yeah,
If I may,
sure.
that because I just when I was talking with this friend of mine last night, um, I just made the comparison. I swear, um, because I have not ever been on substance like drug. Despite what you might hear about me, I've never been like that off or addicted to um but I've tried things, plenty of things similar to what you mentioned a moment ago. I've tried before.
Mm-hmm.
Only one out of the two possibilities, and anybody who wants to can glean whatever they want.
I'll tell you that
Um,
mine didn't have a yellow hue to it.
okay, neither
Yellow
did
tint, if
mine.
that helps. So
Neither
it's
did
the
mine.
same thing, and I know where you live. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's a geographically you don't
Right.
have to.
I didn't. Let's
Anyway,
just say this: I didn't drink any Mountain Dew, but a lot of people do when they do this. I think. I have no idea
eat
why.
the one or the other. It'll get you all
So you know what we're
yuck
saying
mouth.
without saying it, and we could say it. It's not.
Yeah,
This
let's
isn't
not.
not really
Let's not.
talking about that, but we're talking about it.
Yeah. So I've tried, and I've known plenty of people who are real keen on it. I've been great friends
Yeah.
with some of them. I've been bandmates with them. We've worked on projects. We've gone to church together. They're all over, and it's not always people that look like
Yeah. Of
you
course
would
not.
think, or
No.
that act like you would think. Even not all the
Right.
time.
You're saying that the media doesn't always portray these
They
things in a
hold
balanced and
jobs.
accurate way.
They are normal.
Yeah. Of
So
course. Totally.
anywho, I've
Totally.
tried this thing, and it felt like a lot like you described. Like, oh wow, all better. What happened? All right.
100%. Yeah.
And this past week or so, I don't know what changes in my brain have been happening, but the only thing that I can compare it to is that as rough as this week has been
Hmm.
in my head, I've been so like zoomy. I've had the zoomies. I've had that go fast in my brain. And it's natural
Oh wow.
and probably not good. It's probably not great.
Some
I
chemicals
probably
are bouncing around up there. Yeah.
yeah, because it very much feels just like that did.
Mm. Well, I'll tell you this, and then the reason why I knew it was so problematic was you. Well, yeah. For some reason, I feel like I don't want the idea of giving people ideas resonate. It's like more with this than suicide.
Yeah, oh my
Isn't that
God,
weird?
we're talking about how great it
Right, because
is.
I don't
Like,
want to
what?
glorify it. I don't want to romanticize it. I just can
No.
tell you for me, I wanted to feel better. And for a short period of time, this did it. And the point I'm sharing it is that I'm vulnerable to that, susceptible to that, and it could happen. And that this ties back into, would that be considered a suicide or not? Was you're right. So, but I just think that if you're, anyway, we know why people, or at least we have an idea of why people do it. Like in this at least for me does tie in. It's like how long can you suffer, and how long can you suffer,
And how bad are you
and
suffering?
how bad are you, and so you know,
Ash?
Wow, I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, yeah.
yeah. So it's not my goal personally. I'm going to try to do what I can do to be all right, of course. It's weird. I think this comes up from time to time, so I don't know if I've ever shared it with you. Like whenever my brain does get really like in a weird spot, I think, and those are just how I'm choosing to label it. I'm like, but I got like 12 people I talked to, and I haven't edited their episodes yet, so there's no way I can do anything stupid until they're done. Because I like you remember you actually said something about a promise, like that's a
Hmm.
promise. I mean, I may never use that terminology, but it's like, no, we talked. There's no way I can't edit that and get it out to people. So it's a weird little dynamic where it's like, all right. And people reaching out to talk goes up and down. Sometimes I won't get an email for a week. Then I'll get like 2 or 3 in a day. I no rhyme or reason, but it doesn't seem like it's slowing down. So
It
is it,
doesn't.
is it, is it, it's a sort of its own protective factor in a way, if we want to use that word, until it isn't.
Yeah.
You think I should be my last episode?
That's dark.
Yeah. It's a little too dark for me, even. Stranger shit has happened, but I doubt it'll.
Unfinished business is as good a reason as anything to stick around.
Yeah. 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 So, any other thoughts on this topic or question? Nobody's watching. You might be
Nobody's
watching after the fact. And thank you for that. Listen to the podcast. Ash has got a recently published update episode a month or two ago. Brittany
Yep.
will have one at some point soon, I'm sure.
I'm Brittany from Kentucky. I'm a very early episode. What do we
Yeah.
say? 24? Episode 24?
Oh, yeah, yeah. In 2020, 2021. Yeah.
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 I think it was 2020.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for talking.
Thanks for having me.
What's the rest of your days like before we hit stop? The audience wants
A
to know
nap.
everything. You're going to take a nap? Good. Brittany?
Yes.
Well, if my little 1-year-old is napping and it sounds like he might be, we took him to the park and he played real hard. So I'm hoping that his dad's gotten him to nap in there. And if that's the case, then I will probably come right back out here to my balcony and play some music, play my instrument and sing a song. I haven't done that in a really long time, and all of a sudden I feel like it.
Nice.
Yeah,
That sounds good. That
because of
sounds
those
good.
chemicals that are all imbalanced or whatever. What are you doing with the rest of your day, Sean?
I have a 2:30 conversation for the podcast. I will likely go to the YMCA where I like to swim and sauna and stretch.
Nice.
Nice.
And then I will do work for the tour and do some cleaning up and organizing as I've been doing for a long time while trying. Um, hang on, somebody just messaged.
Um,
Tour, watching, blast. I was too late. Tour, if you want me to, if you have a question for either of us, any of us, ask it now because we're about to, as the kids say, bounce. Let's give Tor like a minute. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll work on the tour stuff. There's a lot of, naturally there's planning and organizing and a lot of emailing all kinds of different places to see if they have an interest in joining in the audience or sharing it with their people. It's a lot of work and it's weirdly hard because it's not like a lot of people are like getting back to me and being like, yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to share it with my tribe. Like it's crickets. They're like, what am I doing?
I
So I don't
started.
need, I do not need a lot of people to be in the audience. I want people to know about it who might want to be there. It doesn't need to be huge. There's no spectacle component to this.
I was gonna pitch to the local library here, like we had spoken about, on our book change day. Me and my little boy, and we went to our local library. If I talk about it, then it'll quickly delve political because they're having problems like so bad that they've shut down, over some political
Right. So there's
misgivings.
always, right.
But I'm gonna go to the university. I'm pitching to the local university. We may wind up probably, with a date at the
Well,
university. I've
right. And venue is one thing. If it's at the university, that's a double whammy win. But either way, I want to let people know about it. So I've been reaching out to mental health organizations. I've got a press release. I've been reaching out to local media, other things, LinkedIn and this and that, colleges too. But it's weird because there's all these different departments and it's like these websites, if you go to like University of Kentucky, like just go there, you'd be like, where do I begin? So I've
You
been trying to
also don't
like,
want to mess around there right now.
I'll send the email. Doesn't matter to me. They
I
can
mean, you
ignore it.
can, you can. It's just I know there's a whole lot going on there right now. There's like some headlines about the University of Kentucky right now. No, Morehead State University is where we want to be.
I will invite people because you never know who. But yeah. So tour, yeah, the tour is going to consist. Yeah, tour. Yeah, format wise, it depends on a little bit of how many past guests I'm able to. Perhaps not even past guests. There might be other people want to join me to talk. But it'll be a small group conversation or maybe one-on-one. There'll be an extended Q&A with the audience. That's the goal. Yeah. But also Tor has another question and it's specifically for Brittany. You ready? Boom. Do you see it?
No, I can't see it. I'm in your side. I'm not in the.
Oh, you don't
I
see
can.
this?
No, I can
I
only see
see it.
your face and Ash's face. I'm
It
on my
must be where
phone.
you're watching from because Ash can see it. Are you on a phone or something?
I'm on my phone. Yeah. I'll next
Me-
time we do a live, I'll set up my computer.
no, it's all good. And you're very welcome, Tor. It is, she asked what Tor asked. Actually, I don't know if Tor, male, female, other, but Tor asked, what instrument do you play?
Oh, mostly the ukulele now. But I have played the melodica, the accordion. I don't have my
Wow.
accordion anymore.
You're such an
I
Appalachian girl.
pick a little banjo, bass guitar. I love the bass, the U
Damn.
bass, U bass, U banjo, lele, ukulele. Sized and like instruments are easier for me because they're small, and I am
Not big.
small. I'm not big. But yeah, mostly ukulele.
Got it.
And I sing
Nice.
some. Thank you.
Thanks, Tor. Thanks, Brittany. Thanks, Ash. We'll do it again soon.
Yes.
I'm gonna hit stop. Goodbye, people on the live,
Bye,
or people
Ash.
after who are watching on YouTube, because at some point soon we'll have a gazillion subscribers. If YouTube and the social media platforms stop fucking shadow banning me, you bitches.
Is
Goodbye.
it? I think it's because you say the F word.